Channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Do me a big favor, guys. Get down in the description box and check out two links. The first one is that Mumu link. The good folks at Mumu is willing to give you some stock rewards and some cash reward if you decide to open up a new Mumu brokerage account. Here are the details. Mumu is offering up to $1,100 in cash/stock rewards and NVIDIA stock shares. If you deposit $1,000 in your new Mumu brokerage account, they will give you $120 in cash reward. This is coming from the good folks at Mumu, self-directed brokerage app that I've been using, guys, for since 2024. And I'm happy with the brokerage app. You should go try it out and see if you like it. And if you're willing to make a deposit, $1,000 deposit initially when you open your account, limited time offer now, those folks at Mumu, they're willing to give you $120 in cash reward. Now, the NVIDIA stock share reward. You got to put more money in your account initially, right? You got to make a larger deposit into your new brokerage account. But if you do that and you meet the requirements, they'll give you up to an additional $1,000 in NVIDIA stock shares. Pretty good offer, guys, for a self-directed brokerage app that I've been using since 2024. And again, guys, like I've been telling you guys this, millions of people use Mumu. Mumu does advertising here on YouTube. Go look them up. They do advertising on YouTube. There are other creators like myself that also use Mumu. So I think it's a great brokerage app. That doesn't mean you'll think it's great, but I'm just telling you what my experience has been. And on top of that, if you're willing to open the account and make a qualifying deposit, they're gonna give you some goodies. Give you a little Christmas gift. So first link down in the description box, man. Don't sleep on this, right? Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Go check it out. It might be right for you. It may not be, but at least check it out, right? Second link down there is the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. That's the community I started in 2024. And I've already saw a couple of our wealth builders here in the chat. And thank you guys for popping in. I appreciate you. Y'all know I appreciate you. This was a big day, and we're going to talk about that in a second. We're also going to talk about the future a little bit. Now, again, guys, Wealth Builders Financial Community is just a community I started of like-minded people going in the same direction. Long-term wealth building, and at one day, we get to our pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. One day, we build enough assets to be able to generate enough income to take care of us. That's the whole goal, right? So that we don't have to work for the rest of our life. So at some point, I can take myself off the hamster wheel. I can take myself out of the rat race. But now if I don't build any assets and I don't get to any wealth, I'm gonna work for the rest of my life. Now, if that's what you wanna do, certainly go do that. Many Americans, many people choose to do that. They choose to not build wealth and go ahead and just spend their money on stuff that don't build wealth. And guess what? They work for the rest of their life. Just saying. So you got a choice to make. And again, you ain't got to join the wealth builders, but join somebody. Go find somebody to be a part of a team. And our team is the wealth builders. Second link down in the description box. Click on it. It'll take you over to Patreon. Sign up. Come join us. And then send me a direct message. Let me know you're there, like many of you have. And then we'll go to work. No experts here. No experts in the wealth builders. All of us are just normal people, regular people that have decided to come together and go in the same direction, which is long-term wealth building. And hopefully at some point in the future, we build enough wealth that generates enough income to take us out of that rat race, to take us off that hamster wheel so that we can own 100% of our time, so that we can control our own financial destiny. At some point in your life, wouldn't you like to control your own financial destiny? See, right now, the person you work for controls your financial destiny because they pay you. You don't show up to work, you don't get paid. So that tells you right there. All you got to ask yourself is, Who pays me? And if it's ABC company, if it's your company, then that's who controls your financial destiny. The problem is, even with your own company, you got to go to work in it or you don't make no money. See what I'm saying? You got to trade time for money. I don't want to trade time for money for the rest of my life. I want to be able to trade time for money for a certain part of my life. And then the rest of my life, I want to retire. I want to kick back and travel and do the things that I want to do. So check us out. Second link down in the description box. All right, let's dive into this thing. Federal Reserve just gave a serious warning to all Americans who have no assets. They just did something today that could potentially put somebody in a position where they can start building some assets. Now, again, you got to be motivated to do that. The only thing the Fed can do is provide you the opportunity. And I think personally, they did that today. But let me give you a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube who is exercising his First Amendment right. It's part of the Constitution. I'm not a constitutional scholar, but I know that's part of the Constitution. It's called the First Amendment, where I get to tell you what, freedom of speech. I get to give you my opinion on things. That doesn't mean I'm an expert, because I'm not. I'm just a guy who's exercising his First Amendment right, which is freedom of speech. I go out and do homework. I pay attention. Boom, I bring it back to you guys. Now, what's your job? Take this information, go out, research it, vet it, and get comfortable with it, or don't get comfortable with it. That's up to you. But my job here today is to tell you the good news. According to Richard Fan, personal opinion, the Fed just did something today that could put millions of people in a position where they can build some assets if they execute. That's all the Fed can do. So what did the Fed do? The Fed lowered the Fed funds rate today. I think they lowered it by 25 basis points. So they lowered it from, I believe, 3.75 to around 3.50. Third rate cut this year, back to back to back. So the last three Fed meetings of this year, they lowered rates. I think they lowered in September by 25 basis points. I believe they lowered in, I want to say October by 25 basis points. And then they just lowered in December by 25 basis points. Why did they lower? Because they feel like there's a weakening in our labor market. Federal Reserve got two mandates. Their two mandates is price stability. Basically, that means controlling inflation, right? And controlling how fast prices of our goods and services go up. So they want to control inflation. They want to have inflation around 2%. Where is inflation today? 3%. Now, we don't know what inflation was year over year for the month of November because we haven't got any reports. I don't know when the last time we got a CPI inflation report from our current administration. They may never show it again. So yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath for that. But that's one of their mandates: maximum employment and price stability. Second mandate, I just gave it to you: maximum employment. So what's happening right now is the labor market is weakening. Now, they still don't have inflation completely at the 2% where they want it at, but they got it at 3%. And they've seen it come down over the last several years from a high of 9% in 2022 down to 3% in 2025. So they're happy with that progress. So they don't have to keep increasing interest rates to bring it down anymore because they're happy with the progress. Over the last 3 years, it's come down about 6%. That's headline. They're happy with that. What they're not happy with is now the labor market is not at its maximum employment. It's weakening. If you saw the November ADP private payrolls report, experts thought the economy would grow jobs by 40,000, but the economy actually lost 32,000 jobs. Bingo. So what do the Fed do? They got to come in and do something to stimulate the labor market. They got to do something to stimulate employers to employ people. What do? They lower rates to do what? To make money cheaper to borrow. Then these businesses can go out and borrow that money less expensive today than it was in August. See, in August, rates were 75 basis points higher. When you're talking about millions and millions and millions and millions and billions and billions of dollars, that 75 basis points is very significant, guys. See, we look at it from our little lens. Oh, what are 75 basis points on my $3,000 loan? It's not that much, Richard. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, not on your little $3,000 loan, but multiply that by 1,000. Multiply that by 10,000. Multiply that by 100,000. Yeah, that's a big number when it comes to interest on billions and billions and trillions of dollars, guys. Think about the United States national debt. It's $38 trillion. Go do the math. Go do the math on $38 trillion times 0.75. That's how much money we're saving now on interest payments because the Fed brought interest rates down by 75 basis points. It's huge. It's huge. So it's a big thing, guys. Maybe to you and I, it ain't a big thing because we're looking at it in our little bitty lens. Oh my God, that's not going to help me any. Well, maybe it won't help you, but if you look at the totality of the debt we have in this country, think about it. $18 trillion in consumer debt in this country. 18 trillion. Do the math. Take 18 trillion times 0.75. Guys, that's hundreds of, if not billions of dollars in savings. That could be billions of dollars in savings on $18 trillion, guys. That's 75 basis points. So it's huge. So businesses will take that 75 basis point decrease, go out and borrow money, and then they take that money and do what with it? They look to grow their business. And when they're trying to grow their business, they got to hire people. They got to hire people. When they hire people, what happens to the labor market? Goes up. Boom, boom. That's the stimulant. That's why interest rates can stimulate the labor market. I just gave you the scenario. But here's the neat thing though, guys. Not only businesses take advantage of that 75 basis point rate cut, guess who else takes advantage of that? Investors. Yes, they do. Because now, if I'm an investor and I want to go borrow $500,000 to put in a rental property or to put in my business or to put into paper assets, guess what? I can go borrow that $500,000 75 basis points cheaper. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. I can borrow that 75 basis points cheaper, which makes it more lucrative or incentivizes me to go out and borrow that money. And as an investor, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put it in an asset. So what does that do to assets? More demand. When there is more people and more investors, more businesses borrowing money and then taking that money and plowing it into assets, assets become more valuable because of demand. We talked about that this morning. So the Federal Reserve just did millions and millions and millions of Americans a favor. But you got to think about it the right way. You got to turn on your logical thinking cap and say, shoo, back in August, interest rates were 75 basis points higher. Today, they're 75 basis points lower. As an investor, I may say, well, hey, it's time for me to go out here and leverage some cash. Well, maybe it's time for me to even take my own cash and put in assets, knowing that historically, when rates come down, assets go up. If you're not completely believing me on that, and I'm not saying you should because I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I'm certainly not an expert. I'm not a financial advisor. So go do your own research. But I did a little research for myself, right? I did a little research for myself before I started this video. And let me walk you through my research. I used 3 things to kind of vet my research. And those 3 things are called the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ composite, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Those are the 3 things I did my research on before I started this video. And guess what that research comes back at? It's all green. It's all green. The research is they're all green. And green means up. Red means down. They're all green after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and the FOMC lowered interest rates by 25 basis points. And then guess what Fed Chair Powell did? He had a conference call at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, and guess what he said? They're going to consider lowering them even more if they need to once more data comes in. He was pretty dovish. He wasn't against the idea of lowering rates in 2026. He wasn't. The committee is not against that. Now, that doesn't mean every committee member agreed on the rate cut this time. I don't think they did. I think 3 of them didn't agree. But I believe the other 9 agreed that rates needed to come down. That's all they needed. They didn't get a consensus, but they got a 9-3 if I'm not mistaken. Please go out and do your own homework and fact check this, guys. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm giving you what I read. That's all I can give you. First Amendment right, constitutional right, freedom of speech. Just giving you my personal opinion. Please go out and do your own homework. But when I look at these 3 major indexes, the NASDAQ, this thing is at 23,654 points. The S&P 500 index is at 6,886 points. The Dow Jones is at 48,057 points, all closed up in the green. I look at that as good news that investors were very pleased with what the Federal Reserve did today. They were also pleased with the guidance. See, they were even more pleased with the forward guidance. And what I mean by that is they were more pleased that the Federal Reserve Chair was not against lowering rates if data directs them that way, which I believe data will. That's my opinion now. I get to have my own opinion just like you get to have your own opinion. Go out and do your own research to figure this thing out. But one thing I can tell you, I think this was positive going into 2026, guys. I've already told y'all this morning, and I'm going to tell you again. My job here is to remind you of what I told you this morning. That's my job, is to remind you of what I told you this morning. What did I say this morning? That President Trump is pro lower interest rates. One of the reasons he's pro lower interest rates is back to that little calculation I just gave you a few seconds ago. Think about this scenario, guys. We got a national debt of $38 trillion. Now, back in August, interest rates were 75 basis points higher. In December, they're 75 basis points lower. Do the math now. So you got 0.75 on a $38 trillion savings, 0.75 in interest on a $38 trillion number. You got 0.75 savings on a $38 trillion number. What does Trump want to have happen? Now, this is just based on what I've heard President Trump say in 2025. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just telling you what I heard him say. He may change his mind. But back in 2025, early 25, he wanted at least 200 basis points off of the Fed funds rate. We got 75 basis points already. Now, if he gets his additional 125 basis points, guys, now you have a 200 basis points savings within a year on $38 trillion in debt. You have a 2% interest rate savings on $18 trillion in consumer debt. See where I'm going with this? You also have the ability to go out and borrow money short term. And I'm not telling you to go borrow money, guys. Let's get that straight. I am not telling you to go borrow money. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go borrow some money. That's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it the smart way. See, I'm going to go borrow money once this thing is 200 basis points lower than where it was in August of 2025. 200 basis points lower. Right now, I got 75. I need another 125, which I think we'll get next year. 200 basis points off, guys, I can go borrow money at a Fed funds rate plus something, right? Let's say Fed funds rate right now is 3.5. I think it's 3.5 right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let's say they lower it by another 125 basis points. That's 2.25? I think 2.25. Let's say I go to a bank and I get Fed funds rate plus 3%. I can still borrow money at 5.5%. 5.25. Let's say I go borrow $250,000 at 5.25 and I go buy me a commercial building, or I go buy me a rental property with 3 or 4 tenants. Now, I borrowed the money at what? 5.25. But guess what? What if I can get a cash on cash return at 10.25? See where I'm going with this? See where I'm going with this? See, I can take my 5.5% interest rate on my loan that I get from my local bank here, and I can take that 5.5% borrowed money and I can go purchase me an asset like a rental property, 3 or 4 units, and get me a positive cash on cash return of 10.5%. Now, that's hypothetical, no guarantees, but I've done this for 25 years in the real estate business. This is what I did, guys. This is what I did when I was buying real estate. I did the same 5-to-1 leverage strategy. See, this is what investors do. When rates come down, they know now they can go borrow money 200 basis points cheaper, 75 basis points cheaper, 100 basis points cheaper, and they take that difference and they go find an asset that they can get a higher return on. See where I'm going with this? So the Fed just did you a favor today, guys, if you turn the logical side of your brain on and get out here and do something with it. Now, again, I'm not telling you to do nothing. Please, if you just want to be entertained and do nothing, don't do nothing. Please go out and get you some professional help if you're not comfortable making your own financial decisions. My job here is not to be your financial advisor, because I'm not one. My job here is just to give you my opinion on why it's such a great opportunity, what the Fed just did today. And even better, he was dovish. That means he was open to lowering rates in the future, the near future, 2026. And whether he want to or not is irrelevant, because his term, Chair Jerome Powell, his term is up in May. President Trump gonna put his own guy in there. And when he do, he's gonna be a 10,000% Trump loyalist. He's gonna do whatever Trump tell him to do. And you think interest rates ain't coming down more in 26? Come on, man, do the math. The math is mathing on this one. The math is mathing. So for me, what do I gotta do to prepare myself? Get in position. Get out here and earn. Don't let these Christmas holidays get in my way. I out here spending stuff that I shouldn't be spending. See, a lot of y'all gonna do that. A lot of y'all gonna take your money in December and go buy all this stuff for Christmas and just have a good old jolly time. And then January gonna roll around, and all of a sudden, the market gonna open up and people gonna go to acting execute, and you're gonna be around here with no dry powder. Your dry powder gonna be in Christmas presents. Your dry powder gonna be at Neiman Marcus or Gucci or Michael Jordan tennis shoes, or oh, I'm gonna buy me a new car. Oh, I'm gonna buy my girl a new tennis bracelet. Oh, I'm gonna buy my guy a new suit. See, that's where your money gonna go. Your money gonna go to make somebody else rich. But smart investors, they keep that dry powder on the sideline and wait for that opportunity. Because I believe in 2026 there's a huge opportunity. Again, my personal opinion. You go out and do whatever you feel like you need to do. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, the Federal Reserve is getting ready to even do more in 2026. Whether they want to or not, Trump gonna force them to. He is. Because Trump understands the lower he can get interest rates, the more he can offset these horrible tariffs. And again, guys, I ain't got nothing against President Trump. Listen, I got nothing against him. I know a lot of y'all do. Some of y'all do. Some of you don't. I don't know. I don't pick sides. I just know, as a person in this country, I know I pay the tariffs. That's proven. Now, of course, they're going to get on TV and tell you that you don't pay it, but you do pay them. You pay the tariffs. So for me, they're going to want those interest rates lower to spur more what? Economic growth, because they're not going to get listen, if those rates don't come down, look at this year's economic growth, 1.7%. That's what they're estimating for GDP. 1.7%. Really, we should be 2% or higher. We're going to come in probably somewhere around 1.7% GDP. That's not good enough, guys. Trump and them know that. They know that's not good enough, but they ain't going to tell you that. They're never going to tell you that ain't good enough. But behind closed doors, they know that ain't good enough. So what are they going to do? They're going to drive down interest rates to get that number up and keep the tariffs. The only way they can keep the tariffs and get GDP up is they got to drive down interest rates so people can go out and borrow money and invest it. Go out and borrow money and put it in their company. That's how you get GDP up, right? What is GDP? Let's do a quick little search on it, because I ain't gonna even lie to you. I know what it is in my brain, but I'm gonna give it to you what Google say. Let me give you what Google tells you. Google AI. This is what Google AI says. What is GDP, gross domestic product? Here we go. So here we go. GDP, or gross domestic product, is the total monetary value of all final goods and services produced within a country's borders over a specific period, typically a quarter or a year. It is the most common measure of countries' economic size and performance, and it's calculated by using some formula. Okay, there you go. Now, who has the #1 GDP in the world? America. Who has the most national debt in the world? America. So we got the largest GDP, but we got the largest national debt too. They're competing against each other. Interest rates will help GDP win. Interest rates will help us win with this $38 trillion in debt, because why? Our interest payments will be lower. Right now, we're paying about $1 trillion a year in interest. That's what we're paying on that 38 trillion, guys. We're paying about $1 trillion a year in interest. How much do you think that's going to come down if you hit it with 75 basis point lower? That's a big number, guys. That's a big number. That's a big number. Think about 200 basis points lower. That's even a bigger number. You see where I'm going with this? So Trump has an incentive to get those interest rates as low as he can get them. He does. That's my opinion now. First Amendment right, freedom of speech. I'm giving you my personal opinion. He has a vested interest in getting those interest rates down to somewhere between 1% and I believe 2%. Somewhere in there, that's where we're going to end up at the end of 2026, in my opinion, when it comes to the Fed funds rate. And Jerome Powell won't have any say-so because won't be the chairman again. And like I told y'all this morning, Trump already went on record and said he thinks 4 of the people on the committee right now, the FOMC voting committee, Trump thinks 4 of those people are there illegally because he said Joe Biden used the auto pen. And he said he's going to go after him. Listen, man, only in America, right? Only in America, man. Listen, man, get yourself in position, please. Please understand that what the Federal Reserve just did today was a warning. It was a critical, serious warning. It was telling people who live here in this country, if you have not buckled down and put your how to build assets plan in place, start now. That's basically what they're telling you. They're telling you, listen, we're getting ready to lower these rates. They've already done it. Remember now, I told y'all they went back to back to back. Hat trick. They did a hat trick, guys. They went back to back to back. 75 basis points. And they got the door wide open for more rate cuts next year. And as those rates come down, all assets are going to do, in my opinion, now my personal opinion based on history, that's what they're going to do. That's my personal opinion. Wouldn't it be a shame if you're sitting on the sideline doing nothing? Wouldn't that be a shame if you just don't even take advantage of any of this? And again, I'm not telling you need to. I'm just telling you to think about it. I'm telling you to go look at your situation. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? Do you have high interest rate credit card debt? Do you have at least $1,000 in savings for emergency? Do you even have an emergency fund? Are you living on more than what you make? Guys, if the answer is yes to any of those questions, I would highly consider you sit yourself down and figure out a game plan, because this thing is going to get worse before it gets better. You got to understand the 1%, they don't care anything about you guys. They don't care anything about me. See, I know that though. So I don't listen to their propaganda when they be on TV, all this old crazy propaganda they be throwing out. I don't listen to any of that. Whatever they say, I believe the opposite. They tell me the economy is good, I know it's bad. Because it's bad for the 99% down here. Now, it's good for them because they're the 1%ers. See, they've been buying assets all of 2025, all of 2024, all of 2023 and killing it. Why? Because we've had 3 straight years of the S&P 500 thumbs up. Good. Right now, what is the S&P 500 year to date? Let's see. Because y'all think I just be in here just joking around. No, I'm dead serious. Again, no expert here, just simple go out and do the research. That's all. I'm not trying to be an expert. I'm just going to do the research. I just look it up online. It's right here online. That's all you got to do is look it up. You ain't got to be no expert to look up what the S&P 500 did year to date. I'm no expert. I just tell you what the things say. This is what it says. Year to date, it's 17.35%. Right there. Look on my phone. If you think I'm lying, right there. That's all I did. I just looked it up online. S&P 500 year to date, 17.35%. What was it last year in 24? Over 20%. What was it in 2023? Over 20%. What was it in 2022? Negative 22%. I ain't got to lie to you guys. Go look at the data. All you got to do is look at the data. Why was it negative 22% in 2022? Fed increased rates from 0 to like 5%. Everything crashed. Why? Because when interest rates go up, assets go down. Interest rates go up, assets go down. That's why in 2022, my opinion, my personal opinion, negative 22% in the S&P because rates went up too fast. Rates went up too fast, people start yanking their money out of assets. And when you have more supply than you have demand, what happens? Prices go down. Guys, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Just go do the research. When people start pulling their money out of assets, the value of the assets go down because you got more supply now that nobody don't want to buy. Prices go down. The reverse happens when what? Interest rates come down. Now everybody's rushing out to borrow money to buy assets. So guess what? You got more demand than you got supply. Prices go up. Just my personal opinion. Please go out and do your own homework. Don't take my opinion for the gospel. Go do your own homework. But for me, guess what the game plan is? Keep earning. Don't let Christmas throw me off. Hey, y'all know I'm a Christian and I love Christmas. That's my favorite holiday. But don't get it twisted. Christmas is not about buying people gifts. That's my opinion again. It's not about buying people gifts. It's about spending time with your loved ones and your family and giving thanks that you're even on this earth, that you're even a part of this earth. Because guess what? You couldn't be here. So I'm giving thanks for just being here. Yeah, the tree is nice. Y'all saying you got no tree up yet. I got one. It's in the garage. I got to put it up. But I don't even get caught up in all that. Now this year, I'm going to get caught up in a little bit more because I got a new lady in my life and I know she likes to celebrate and do all this stuff. And I want to make her happy. I want to make me happy. I like Christmas. I enjoy it. But I'm just not into all this go broke and then hope for a better truth. No, I'm not into all that. I'm into getting to this bag, getting to this wealth, getting to this financial freedom. Then I'll go do some stuff that I want to do. So please, guys, be careful through the holidays. Get your game plan together. Figure out what your 2026 you want that to look like when it comes to your asset creation. Figure out what you want your 2026 to look like as it relates to your asset creation. That's all I'm gonna ask you to do. I can't tell you what to do because I got to do the same exercise. I got to sit down and say, well, okay, Richard, what are your goals in 2026? And my recommendation is you have those goals already written out Put them on the mirror in the bathroom. Put them don't put them in your car because you need to be laser focused when you're in your car. But put them on the mirror in your bathroom. Put them in the notes section of your phone so you can go back to them when you're on the run and on the go. Sit down somewhere every morning and visualize what your life will be like when you hit those goals. Put an action plan in place to be intentional and work activities that can get you to those goals. Those are the things that I would be looking to do right now, not January 2nd. Too late. Should be doing that right now. Sitting down, writing out your goals. What do these goals need to be? They need to pass through 3 gates. Once again, guys, exercising my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, personal opinion. These are the 3 gates that your goals need to pass through. They need to be specific, right? They need to be specific. They need to be measurable. You got to be able to measure them. And they need to be actionable. You need to be able to take some action, some activities. So you got to be actionable, specific, and measurable. Right? And you might want to even throw in realistic. Let's say 4 things. Throw in realistic. Oh, yeah, I want to be a billionaire next year in 2026. How do I be a billionaire? See, that ain't realistic. It's not. What you got, 100 billionaires in the whole world? Or something like that, at least in America. I don't know about the world. But maybe you got 100 billionaires in America out of 350 million people. So that ain't a realistic goal. It's not realistic. Find some realistic goals. Realistic, measurable, specific, actionable, and work on those now, not January 2nd. Get your plan together and then visualize it every morning. Take 30 seconds out every morning and just lay in bed or get up with your coffee or go on your deck or go out for a walk or something and just think about how your life will change if you can obtain these goals. Just visualize, what would life be like if I had an extra $1,000 a month coming in? What would life be like if I could build my wealth high enough so that I can take 5 years off from retire? I can retire 5 years earlier. I can retire 10 years earlier. What would life be like for my child if I'm able to send her to college or send him to college? All paid for. We ain't got to worry about no student loans. See, you got to visualize that, guys, and make it real. See, we're not going to make any changes in our life unless we find a compelling reason to make those changes. You won't make changes in your life unless you find compelling reasons that mean more to you than your fear. You won't change anything in your life, guys. We change things in our life when we find something that means more to us than our fear. We change things in our life when we find something that means more to us than procrastination. We change things in our life when we find something that means more to us than pride. We change things in our life when we find something that means more to us than greed. Find something that means more to you than all that other stuff that keeps you emotional and scared and afraid and all that crap. Find something that means more to you than that, and you will succeed. The problem is most people don't find something that means more to them than all that stuff. That stuff over here means more to them, so they never change anything in their life. Wouldn't it be sad? Wouldn't it be sad you get to the end of your life and you look back on it and you have regrets, big regrets? Don't get to the end, guys, and have regrets. Take care of that right now. This is an opportunity that's coming in 2026, man. It's coming. My opinion now, no expert, my opinion. It's coming. Prepare yourself. Get ready. Thank y'all guys for checking me out. I appreciate y'all, man. All I want to tell you right now is get yourself down that description box, and there's one of these opportunities that you can check out. First one is that Mumu link. That's the first link down in the description box. It's an opportunity, guys, to get yourself a self-directed brokerage app to assist you in trying to get you some assets up. Plus, if you make your qualifying deposits, they're going to give you some cash reward and some NVIDIA stock shares. But you got to meet certain deposit requirements. Let me run you through the deposit requirements and we're going to get out of here, just in case it's something you want to check out. I've been using Mumu since 2024. Millions and millions and millions and millions of other people use Mumu. Mumu advertises here on YouTube. Yes, they do. They don't advertise through me, but well, I guess they do slightly. Not paid advertisement, but they do advertise through YouTube. I have an affiliate marketing. I have an affiliate link. That's some compensation that they give me through the affiliate link, but they don't pay me to do a commercial, is what I'm saying. But they do that through YouTube and through other creators. So it's a self-directed brokerage app that millions of people use. So check it out. First link down in the description box. Here's the offer. Mumu is offering up to $1,100 in stock rewards and NVIDIA stock shares. If you deposit $1,000, you'll get $120 in cash reward. Now, again, that's a limited time offer, so check out the details below. And if you decide to put additional deposit, you can get up to an additional $1,000 in NVIDIA stock shares. Again, guys, all the details is in the link. Check out the qualifying deposits. If you like it and you want to try it out, do it. If you don't, bounce. Nobody hurt. I'm just trying to give you an opportunity here to start 2026 off to a good start. Last thing, Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. Y'all know I got to go ahead and plug my wonderful community on Patreon. Get down to that second link, click on that link and get yourself over to Patreon and sign up and join us. We got about 2,000 wealth builders over there, and we are just ecstatic about what happened today with rates, because we know, in our opinion now, this is our opinion, more are coming in 26. So we want to get in position. We just want to get in position. Dry powder on the sideline, in position, dollar cost averaging every month, in position. We just want to get in position. Time in the market instead of trying to time the market. Again, all my personal opinion. Please go out and do your own homework and come up with your own strategy. I'm not here to give you a strategy. I'm here to share the good news with you. So if you want to rock with me and have access to me through direct message, unlimited direct message, get down to that second link and click on that Wealth Builders Financial Community Patreon link. It'll take you over to Patreon. Sign up. Come join us. Send me a DM. Let me know you're there so we can go to work. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. Share the video. Smash the like button. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. Catch you on the next video. Peace.